Hi guys, welcome to karlpopewoodcraft. I'm Karl, and today what we're going to be doing is building this wine rack. It's a series of builds which I've done recently of wine racks, and I've put them all in a playlist. This is the third one, and they're all different. This one I decided to do at last minute just because a friend of mine was a bit sad on Friday, so I thought I'd make this, and I've initialed it as well for her and her husband who've got the same initials, and I've put them up there. It's finished in a natural Briwax, and I've painted a duck egg colour in the initials there. So without further ado, we'll crack on with the build, and then I'll see you at the end. It's daylight and I'm in the workshop. How awesome's that? I can't wait till summer, spring and summer. So I've got a couple of bottles of plonk to keep me going on the journey, only joking. So we can measure up directly off what we're going to be using. We've got the world's roughest looking pallet wood. We've got my jointing jig, and we're going to crack on. So that's all one edge jointed on the pallet wood, guys. As you could see, I used a spacer here, just because them boards was a bit small to butt up against this piece. So I just put this nice straight edge spacer in there, and then the boards overlapped enough to joint one edge. Now we're going to run them through the second time to joint the other side, and then we'll have some nice square pieces of timber to work with. If you haven't seen my jointing jig video, I'll put that in a link in the description or at the end of the video, so you'll be able to see how I built this jointing table saw jointing jig, and you'll be able to do it yourselves. So I'll finish off squaring them up now, and then we'll start having a look at how we're going to assemble it and how big it needs to be by actually placing the objects on there. So for the second pass through, guys, all we have to do is put the jointed edge, which we just cut, up against the fence of the table saw, wind it up, butt it up, remove it, move it like another couple of mil, clamp it down and wang them all through, making sure that you keep this jointed edge against the table saw fence. So I've laid these pieces of timber out like this. I've got 4 boards going across, one on a diagonal. Don't know what the angle is, it's irrelevant really. You have these wine bottles going in on that angle like that, and then build a small box here with slots for the wine glasses to go in. I've seen some on Pinterest that look like this, look pretty cool. Have it all finishing about there somewhere, and then do some initials in the top here for the owner. I think that looked pretty cool. I'm going to use this thickest board for to hold the wine bottles. That's probably the strongest piece, and then the offcuts, off everything else, I'll use to build the little box. Slot these in. Pretty straightforward. Glue it, screw it, dowel it, whatever. Something simple. Sand it, wax it, drill some holes. Job's a good one. everything's sanded down really nicely now. I just did it with P80 grit, and I've now got this piece of pine strip, and I'm just going to attach a piece at the bottom and the top just to join the board, so we don't have to wait for the glue up, and screw it onto there, and then we can start assembling the rest of it. So that's the backing board all put together, guys, and that looks pretty nice. So now we're going to build the little box here where the wine glasses are going to situate, and I've squared this end of the board up. That's something I always do before I start the next set of cuts, and I'm just going to mark directly off the piece, off the backing board itself. You know, that's better than measuring, it's more accurate. And I'm going to cut 2 of these and then 2 small side pieces, just assemble that with some glue and tacks. And then we're going to do the diagonal piece and work out what angle and that we want that on. So this piece pretty easy, just a few cuts on the market saw, attach it together, and that's that. I was about that for an interruption, just as I was about to cut the pieces for the little square at the bottom. So I've got lemon and sugar, pancake. I mean, I don't think it is pancake there. Excuse the munching. And what's in this one? Jam. Or for you Americans, jelly. But this is good jam. I hope he's going to bring me a Nutella one out. Right. So we're making progress, guys, and what we did is we placed the actual glass over where we wanted it originally, and then we just marked out how wide it needed to be and how far back it needed to be so the glass won't butt in against the back, and then we just cross-reference them measurements to this side. I'm happy with where the glass sits, but there's just a little gap here, and I just want the glass just to sit a little bit lower so it's more secure in its holding. So I'm going to use the round over just to take a little bit off here and just soften all the edges up on all of it, really. I've had quite a lot of questions about this mounting my router to the outfeed table. So I'm going to do an update video soon on the workshop, and I will talk about this. It's really simple. I did make one glaring mistake when I mounted this to when I mounted the router to my outfeed table, but I'll talk about that when we do that. So I'll round over everything over, soften the edges off on everything, and then we'll start to assemble. So everything's coming along nicely, guys. We're going to just assemble this here, so I'm just going to put a little mark where I want it, and just move them pieces a second. We're just going to square it off so it's nice and square. I'll pop a couple of clamps on, we'll shoot some brads in, and then we'll line it up with the square mark that we put on there, and we'll screw it in from behind. So I've decided what angle I want the wine holder to be at, and I've marked a line here which corresponds to this straight piece of timber here which it's going to butt up against, and then I don't know what that angle is, but I will set the mitre up to that angle and we'll make the cut, and then that should butt up to there nicely. A couple of brads through there, glue it on the back and some screws, and obviously drill the holes for the wine bottles. They're just going to be drilled straight in so the wine bottles stick out on an angle like that, not sideways, and then they'll fill that space nicely, and then some initials up here. So I thought it'd be nice to route some initials into it, just freehand, and since it's a rustic project, you don't need out too fancy. I'm going to put the bottle in. The bottle will be weighed down, so it'll probably at that angle. Just going to make sure the letters are at the same angle as the wine bottle, because I think that'll be the best look. So it's this line here. Just got a little I had to get an hand symbol up because for some reason I couldn't recall how to do it. Now I'm just going to go over them in this black. marker. These ones I did upside down, so that's just straight, that bit, that's the top. So CC and CC, the couple have both got the same initials. So I've got my little stool, got my defenders, safety glasses, dust mask. I've got my clear view attachment on my Katsu router. I've got straight cut bit, and I'm just gonna take these out as neatly as I can. I've took the screws out from behind just in case, and that's it. So that's the routing done, and this straight edge bit was more like rubbing two sticks together than it was using a sharp bit. But we got there in the end, and it's quite neat actually. And I've painted duck egg blue inside, and we'll just sand that off the top before we wax it, the residue. So that's the build complete, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed the process. If you did, please like and subscribe and join the journey. Is there anything that I do differently? Yes, there is. The router bit that I used was absolutely terrible. You probably saw it was like rubbing two sticks together. It was like almost setting on fire. So I definitely need to invest in some better quality router bits. And apart from that, I think I'm pretty happy with how everything went, and hopefully you like it, and hopefully the person who I built it for, the people who I built it for, hopefully they like it as well. And I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Goodbye.